Well, welcome back to the Trans Talk Hub podcast. I'm your host, Alyssa, along with Braxton.
Hello again, everybody.
I know this is going to seem a little odd that we're doing like a half an episode here, but we feel like it's very important that we come back on here same day. As you can tell, same outfits as the last episode. This is the same day. There's a pretty big situation that we kind of have to speak on and hold somebody accountable. That somebody being Rose Montoya, the same person that we reacted to Blair White, that we reacted to reacting to Blair White,
Yep.
And having her take and whatever on how she feels about Blair White. And she loves to talk about trans people, but she's the same trans person who allegedly, even though there's seems to be clear enough proof, which you'll see because we'll be reacting to a video by Buck, where Buck shows the receipts that exist, the videos, TikToks, whatever, that Rose Montoya SA'd 5 different trans men. And so we're going to watch this video by Buck that he put out, and we're going to react to this. And, this needs to be out there. People need to see how much of a horrible person she is. This is crazy. From the White House situation to the crazy call out on Blair to now this, it's like, is it going to end? Like, when is she actually going to be held responsible, and something actually happen? So we're going to go ahead and play that video here. So let me go ahead and share it.
Yeah, this is just really disappointing.
It really honestly is. Like, I didn't imagine that we were going to have to make a half episode about this, but we're very consistent. We care about the community
very much.
And if we didn't care, we would not be making this episode so short notice. I've not even edited the other podcast, but we're on the half episode podcast where we have to talk about this, and it's a very serious matter. So I do want to kind of play this a little bit, and then we'll react to like different chunks of this.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're talking about this transgender woman who has done some really insane stuff, that being one of them. Her name is Rose Montoya, who has now been accused of SA by 5 trans men. Okay, so here's the first post that was sent to me. Okay, this is a trans man saying, TWCA SA at the Rose Montoya SA'd me while I was recovering from phallo surgery. She confessed to violating me in an email sent from her official Gmail. My friend Elijah was also and abused by her. She's abused at least 2 other trans mask folks besides us. This is so disgusting, you guys.
That's insane. Like,
I can't wrap my mind around it. I cannot, for you to be a trans person and understand the depths of it, especially when somebody's recovering from a surgery like a phalloplasty, and you take advantage of them. What is the thought process there? Is there a thought process? I'm floored.
Same.
I don't understand.
This is not news that I think either one of us would have expected from anybody in that matter of the trans community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are we going to do something, in general, right? Like, I'm not saying it's okay in any sense at all, because it's not. Right. But to hurt someone in your own community is just insane to me.
It makes no sense. I mean, just like you said, in general, it's just awful to do to a person. But someone that goes through the same struggles as you, and when you get to the email, which we will, it's so gross. This energy that this person is carrying is disgusting, especially when you're so bold to call out other creators who have never done anything in this capacity, nothing even remotely close. All they're trying to do is regain, or reconvene the community that has torn itself apart from the inside out, they're an awful, terrible person. You're so bold to say things like that. And then this is how you behave. Not to mention, pulling your titties out at the White House and shaking them around like that's acceptable. What? Like, we already knew this. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the same person that also said their dog was trans. So there's just like all the red flags. All of the red flags are present in the room with us right now. It's
exactly. This is so crazy to even digest and think about. That I mean, you just wouldn't think that it would be somebody in your own community who would do something like this.
yeah.
I mean, a lot of trans people experience like SA in general,
Yeah.
and for most of us to have that understanding, for some of us to have gone through that, it's just so mind-boggling to just see this. I mean, I hope this person gets held accountable bigger than
Oh yeah.
just like videos and stuff like this.
Yes.
I think this video has enough evidence that there has to be something bigger done.
There have to be repercussions for this. I
There
mean,
has to be.
it's so blatant. It's obvious. It is all right here. And the biggest thing, I think the scariest part of what could come out of this is that this is a person who is definitely more left leaning. And a lot of the times that community is 10 toes down on defending the trans woman because it's a trans woman, not for any valid reason. And I would really hate to see that happen at this point, because it's literally, it's happening within the community. How do you fight that? Like, how does that side deny that there's something wrong going on here, going on within what they're doing, when it results in this? And I'm not saying that it's every trans woman on that side of things, or every person on that side of things, right? But when you don't hold people on your side accountable, these are going to slip through, and they make you look real bad. Like, I'm trying to do you guys a favor, truthfully. Like, hold people accountable. Stop this shit. It's not that hard. Just speak up.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
So then I want to bring up this person next, right here. I'm going to bring up this guy. And this guy says, I was essayed by my ex, Rose Montoya, where I was coerced into many things and then mentally manipulated with revenge, which is why I have stayed quiet for so long. Wow, it's so disgusting. So then I'm going to bring this. I think this is the same guy doing a live and a very emotional post, but I cut it to the part I feel is the most important for us to listen to. So here we go.
Harm to come to her. I still care about her, and I shouldn't. Because she had no care for the continuous people. There are 5 of us. There are 5 of us. So how many of us until we're actually believable? But are we just trans men, so we're innately masculine, so we're the aggressor, and we are... When did we forget that trans men used to be women? At what point did we forget that we understand what it's like to be in fear of someone that never had to lay a hand on you? But joke's on you, because she did. She laid many hands on me. But because I'm a man, it doesn't get taken seriously. It's just play fighting. Those are just jokes. My first time meeting you.
It's really hard to watch this. It really is. There's nothing funny or anything about this. It's horrifying.
You took.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough to watch that. I cried the first time. I'm crying now. Like, I just can't help it. It really gets to me.
Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, the fact that, I mean, what he said there about, forgetting that they were once women, like,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah,
And
it's
the fact that the big part there was that the narrative has to be like, oh, well, it takes us, coming out and speaking about this multiple times before it sticks, instead of like, yeah, that's I don't know, that's so mind boggling to me, because for me it makes so much, like it it doesn't make any sense that this happens at all to begin with.
right.
But to think that somebody within your own community would do something like this, we know what sort of problems not only ourselves but other members of the community face.
Yep.
It's just,
And like
it's crazy.
what he's saying about, well, you're the man now. I think that's a point that people don't realize is like a lot of the times trans men are still held to the same standard as that of a biological male because it's a societal thing. So we do
Mhm.
experience that. There's a lot of physical things we don't experience, but the mental side of it is incredibly similar. And it's right. It's true. I worked at a place in my hometown 4 or 5 years ago, and one of my managers was sexually harassing me for a while. And I would tell my boss about it, and they wouldn't do anything about it. She also would like send people out to like get her shooters, so I could tell like the second she started feeling the buzz, because here she comes, and she'd like scratch my arm and get real close and tell me how pretty my eyes were, whatever it was, and nobody would listen to me because they're like, you're just like you're a dude, like they would essentially just tell me like it's not that big of a deal,
But
like
it's a
that just
huge deal.
happens. I'm like, because she's a girl and I'm perceived as a man, that doesn't make any sense. So just watching this video just like really hits home, and it's an issue that like these are the issues that we need to be talking about and fighting about.
Right.
Like this is the real stuff, and it's just so unfortunate that these guys had to experience that
I
and
know. I
now have to
really,
recover from it.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I really hate to hear these things. It sucks. We put a lot of emphasis in trying to really get better understandings of things for other members of our community, and to see something like this, that we have to help put together something that puts accountability out there in a way when we shouldn't have to be in situations to address things like this. It
No,
really does suck that that's what we have to do. We have to take the time out of our day to do all this. And because if we don't, if there's not enough voices speaking out against it, it gets swept under the rug.
exactly. And you can't let stuff like this get, because then who is it next? When do we add the 6th, the 7th, the 8th?
Exactly. Yep, there's 5 people already, and the fact that there's already receipts. We haven't gotten to the email yet, I don't think, but the fact that there's already these videos out there. 5 people.
Yep.
That's not like 1 or 2 people are coming out
No.
and saying, "Oh, this happened." No, 5 people.
Yep. I mean, and this person has a history of being pretty lewd. I mean,
Exactly.
what cis woman do you know would go to the White House and just let it fly?
No right-minded trans woman
It's
or
just
cis woman.
it's lining up. Things are
It
making
really
sense, and
is.
it's incredibly unfortunate.
It isn't really that shocking if you think about it in that manner, because the sign was already there that something's not right up here to begin
Yeah.
with, because
Yeah.
a cis woman or a trans woman wouldn't have exposed themselves like that
No.
in a public space.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
It does.
Took me in your parents' pool while they were in the living room, and I'm just supposed to do what?
Wow.
Because now I gotta go have Cheerios with your dad. I had just met your family.
Wow. I mean, if you watch the whole thing, it is so emotional. And so, I don't think it's easy for these guys. Clearly, it's not for anyone to publicly say these things. And I think it's, I just think it's disgusting. And that Rose has done so many things in this community that she has gotten away with. And this, she should never be getting away with. You can't forget Trans men, what he just said, trans men used to be women, and trans women used to be men, but we still are female and they are still male. Don't forget that ever. I keep telling everybody that, but for some reason this community has such a weird thing about our biology. But it's, you know, we've got to understand these things in order to live our lives and understand just so many things. And this is one of the things we must understand. So the fact that she's done it to 5 trans men is out of, if this was just in a regular setting where it was just male and female people living in their own bodies, we would be horrified and that person would be in jail. How is this person getting away with this stuff? So I'm going to play this last one. This is the main guy, and here's him saying this.
Rose, I was just informed that you've accused me of DV, even though you've admitted to DV in our relationship. So I was just wondering, why did you send me this email where you confessed to all the ways you harmed me? And yet I'm the one who harmed you? Why didn't you say that? Why are you admitting to violating me? I'm just really confused. Why aren't you answering all the questions from the trans community? They have a lot of questions right now. They want you to take accountability.
Yeah.
You confessed right here. Look at what you said. I didn't say that. This is from your Gmail account.
Says, I am sorry I forced myself on you. I'm sorry I made you feel that way. Wow. He has it right there in writing.
That's terrible.
Where do you get off? Like, where do you get off on making yourself the apparent victim in this? And, you know, in this video, Jesse is saying something about he found out that she's claiming that, you know, he was, you know, abusing her. So I'm really interested in finding that because, like, you know, like you had said, this is very impromptu. I found out about it. We discussed it. We hopped on. We're like, we got to talk about this. So I still need to look into some stuff. But I really want to find that because I think it's also just going to be another just red flag to add to the poll. You know, it's how are you trying to make yourself out to be the victim in this? And while admitting to what you did. Even in this email, you're trying to make it seem like, oh, you know, poor pitiful me because I still have a phallus and I just thought you didn't love me or like me or want to be with me or whatever. Like, what? That's exactly what we were saying in the beginning. Like, they go through that too, and of all people, you should understand that. You're already showing that you do, and you still proceed with forcing yourself on somebody, as you say. Lock her up.
Exactly.
Throw away the key. Be done with it. Let's just clean our hands. We don't. No, this ain't it.
Yeah, I honestly don't want to see one video that anyone makes defending Rose at this point, because if anything, that'll really show who you are as a person. If you go and you make a video or you're on a live somewhere or something and you're defending Rose, then you're defending these acts, which is not okay.
Yep. And that's what we're used to seeing. We're used to just seeing them, you know, defend them. And we have to start drawing lines. We have to. Like, it's not about not loving myself or loving other trans people, or of course I love myself and other trans people and all these other things I'm accused of. It's about stopping this from happening. We have to rein certain things in. This is just, it's going to get worse. All sorts of things in this realm have been getting worse within the community. And now it's our community on our community. Like, it's just sad. Y'all have to start waking up to this.
Yeah, we have to stop it now because we can't allow a 6th or a 7th. We can't.
No.
I don't know what we can do other than spread this message and get it out there, which obviously we're going to do, but it's going to take more than us. So if you're watching this, listening to this, please share this out on Facebook and wherever you can, because this person needs to be held accountable for their actions. And not just that, like I don't know what the process is at this moment, but I think they deserve to be locked up too.
Absolutely. There's no other answer. I mean, there's admission. There's clearly the emotional turmoil that you have caused with your actions that you think you're a victim from. Please, there's what else do you need? What else could you possibly need to finally just condemn this person one and for all? Like, I'm not about cancel culture, but like canceled, right? Like, I'm all about
Exactly.
it right now.
Same. I mean, there's no defending this. There is not. And if you defend it, you should be canceled right along with Rose.
Yep.
Because this is not okay in any regard.
Yeah, despite where we stand on what side of things or what you're like, we have to at least all agree that this cannot happen.
Right.
Forget the rest. Like, yes, it's all still very important. I get that, but like, this has got to be priority number one. We can't let this kind of stuff happen in our community. If we can't come together for the rest of it, we got to come together for this.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't let the barriers of the right and left or middle or whatever. Don't even think about that. At this point, we're talking about a like pretty severe case here, and there was already the White House instance of exposing, and now there's this. It makes sense, and yet we should have stopped it there.
Yeah,
we should have stopped it there. None of this would have even happened. So if we do anything, we have to come together to stop this before there's a 6th or 7th.
Agreed. It's crazy.
It is, really. Do you have any like close off words or anything from your end?
You know, just reiterating, like, you know, let's be diligent. Let's come together for this. We can't allow this to continue to happen. We have to start seeing the signs and not ignoring them in the name of being inclusive. We have to be smart moving forward and protect those of our own. These trans men could have been protected from this person had she been held accountable for her actions way sooner. To have some sort of understanding that this is not okay. So hopefully we can put differences aside and at least agree that this is not okay and something's got to be done.
Absolutely. So if you're watching this, listening to this, doesn't matter. Please share this out there.
Please.
This has to stop.